Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. So, I thought we'd start off with just a short video, and it is only going to be these three sums that I want you to do today. This is the theorem of Pythagoras, which we started before the midterm. And the theorem of Pythagoras is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, this is, I'll just have to do this. This is A, this is B, and this is C. That's the sides of the triangle. Over here, this would be A, this would be B, and this would be C. And over here, this is A, this is B, and this is C. Okay? So, we want to find out in each of these three triangles, we want to find out what the missing length is. So we don't know what x is, we don't know how long y is, how long that side is, and we don't know how long z is. Okay? So those three sides are the missing sides that we want to find out the length. And we know the length of the two other sides of the triangle. So we know that this is 3 and this is 4, and we know this is 5 and this is 12, and we know that this over here is 6 and this is 8. So if we know the two sides of a right angle triangle, we can find out the third side using Pythagoras's theorem. Okay? Now, we started doing this before the break. If you are only watching this now and you haven't watched any of the videos before the break, go back and watch the last video and maybe even the one before that, and then do this one tomorrow. But those of you who are caught up, you can do this today. And we're just going to do, I'm going to do these three sums together with you now in the video. And what you could do is, if you want, you could copy these sums down into your copybook, pause the video, try and do them, and then skip to the end of the video and see if you got them right. And if you got them all right, brilliant. But if you made a mistake, you can skip through the video and find the bit where you made the mistake, or find the sum that you got stuck with, and then you can see where you might have made a mistake. So it's up to you how you'd like to do it. So I'm going to work through each of the three sums, and you can pause it as you go if you want, or you can do all three sums now, or you can just watch me do them. But what I'd like you to do is, after the video, I'd like you to send me a picture of the work that you've done, and please send it through Google Classroom. Okay, so sum number 1, which is this one here. Sum number 1. Let's do that here. Now, A is 3, and we have the theorem here above us, so we put 3 squared here. And B, we have a plus from the theorem, that's from the theorem there. And then B is 4, so that's 4 squared, equals C squared. And we don't know what C is yet. That's what we're going to try and find out. So now, 3 squared, that means 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. Plus 4 squared. 4 squared is 4 multiplied by 4, so that's 16. So 9 plus 16 equals C squared. So 9 plus 16, that's 25, equals C squared. Now, I want to find out what C is, not C squared, okay? I want to get rid of this little squared, okay? I want to get rid of that. And we get rid of it by square rooting both sides. So I square root 25 and I square root C squared. And what happens is this square root here and this squared, they cancel each other out, okay? So that cancels that because they're opposites. Now we just need to find the square root of 25, and we need to use our calculators for that, okay? But you might be able to do it in your head for this one. But if you want to use a calculator, you press the square root button, which is this one here, this symbol, and then you put in your number, and then you press the equal sign. And if you do that, the square root of 25 is 5. So 5 is equal to C. So that is our answer. Our answer is 5. So up here, x is 5. Because we found out that the length of this side, the long side, which is also called the hypotenuse, is 5. All right, let's have a go at question 2. So question 2. Remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now a is 5, so that's 5 squared plus b squared, b is 12 squared, equals c squared. So 5 squared is 5 multiplied by 5, which is 25. And then 12 squared is 12 multiplied by 12. Now, if you don't know your times tables, you might need to use a calculator for this one. It's one of the bigger numbers. So 12 multiplied by 12 is 144 equals c squared. And if we add 25 and 144 together, we get 169, and that's equal to c squared. I want to get rid of the squared, and I want to get rid of the c squared. I want that just to be c, the letter c. And I do that by finding the square root of both sides. And like before, like in the last question, this square root and this squared, they cancel each other out because they're opposites. So for this, you'll need to go to your calculator unless you've got very good mental math. And what you do is you press the square root button, and then you press 169, and then you press equals, and you'll get 13 equals c. So we've just found out that the length of this longer side here of this triangle is 13. That is our answer, ANS. Answer. And you see the way I did this? I always like students to do this in exams. When they're writing the answer, I like them to either draw 2 lines underneath or put their answer in a box like this, so it's really clear, so I can see where their answer is. If you have a different color pen, that's a great time to use a different color pen. Now, the last question. So we have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a is 6, so that's 6 squared, plus b squared, b is 8, so that's 8 squared, equals c squared. All right, so 6 squared means 6 multiplied by 6. And 6 multiplied by 6 is 36. And then 8 squared is 8 multiplied by 8, which is 64. And that's equal to c squared. So 34 plus 64, that is 100, isn't it? 100 equals c squared. Now, I want to get rid of the squared at the little 2 above the c. So I find the square root of both sides. All right, square root of both sides. And this cancels with this. So the square root of 100 is 10, because 10 multiplied by 10 is 100. So the square root of 100 is 10. You can use your calculator for that as well if you want. So 10 equals c. So our answer is 10 equals c. And you can see I put a little squiggly line underneath. So the length of the longer side of the triangle is 10. And that's all I want to do for today. We're going to do a slightly different type of question on Wednesday. It'll still be with triangles, and we'll still be using this theorem, but we will be finding out different sides. So today's just to ease you back in, and I hope you had a great midterm and you're enjoying the sunshine today. Bye.